So first of all, thanks, and I'm Eduardo. So nice to meet you. So we are us like representing from this class of the master, and this workshop was led by Danilo, and actually also we came from different. I mean, we all of us have different backgrounds. So for instance, I'm an architect. Then we have a photographer, artist, filmmaker, and other artists. So we were also trying to combine our different skills in some project that could come along. And this idea, basically, we start the real spark with this smart control room, basically, based in Venice, and we were super fascinated by this idea of how all the data and of people were basically are control of in and out of the lagoon. So in a way, a hypothetical way, the police and the municipality, they know who is coming, who is entering, who is leaving the city, and also what they are doing, more or less. And from this also, we took basically Venice as a common space, like a global, place. Through this idea of the leisure class, also about the tourism. I mean, Venice is really like a taken place for fast tourism, or by students or workers, and worldwide is super famous. So we had also this idea of the Venezia, but also all the Venice is recreated all around the world, so that can be basically be taken as a global context. And by that, yes, our idea was to work on the night, during the night, and then basically the plot, the script started with one person that also it was really sure the identity of this entity, individual. I mean, we were literally trying to be detached from the materiality and the real world in a way, and then also playing with this idea that now we are also flowing. I mean, we are working and wandering the city like real data. So it's like also this idea that we don't know who is the data, or vice versa. And then with that, basically, we combine all these concepts, and the final idea was that this entity was basically wandering through the city and was guided by one care center. More specifically, we find one guy was from the other part of the world, basically like in Philippines or Vietnam, I don't know, I don't remember where. And they are really taking care of all the people. I mean, people that are asking where going or having some trouble in every city of the world, they are asking to those peoples that they never saw the city. They never really knows about this reality and where they find. So this
like
is
a
what
call center
like
workers.
Call center, but also more assistance like for travel agency.
Okay.
Or, I mean, also we were trying to investigate, find more. I mean, we had also a little research about this. Mm-hmm. And basically, we also, I mean, we thought that it was it was working on several fields. I mean, not just only about travels, or journeys and whatever leisure, but also what else. So this was, I mean, the main point.
Okay.
Then also, I don't know if some other guys want to add something else, or
maybe you can add something else. And is it possible that maybe you help me to put also the movie in the background? Mm-hmm. Maybe. Can we see it? Like, okay. Okay, can we just see it like in the background? Okay. So, okay. We're seeing like now Danilo also the film in the background. So, or what is like that is kind of still in preparation. And so is it like a kind of multi-screen thing, or how it's going to work then in the end? Like because you can see several kind of juxtaposed screens, and then can you talk maybe? Sorry.
So this idea of the layout is taken by, I mean, is the CinemaScope. So to have this idea of long, I mean, super wide screen. And I mean, we took it as a reference also from this smart control room, because basically they had 4 huge monitor or one next to each other to have different also showing different data. So you have with the central basically what we have found. They have all the map basically having like the big control, I mean the big scale control, and then on the sides they have more in details like task or other like specific data about flows and people that they wanna looking for. So this was basically the idea. Then to trying also to combine and working on different layers. So this idea to have one stretched monitor where we can combine but also having all the information all together that they can go during the film. So having the people, our entity that maybe is wandering through Venice. Then on the other hand, one moment we will have the messaging moment. Yep. So just 2 hands that basically are messaging with this other guy. Or some other more variable moments.
Mm-hmm. And are you also, when for example we are seeing this footage, is it also that you wanted to use or imitate like the surveillance cameras in Venice or not?
No, maybe we also tried to look from inside and outside. At the same time, we tried to take different perspectives, and that's why you see, for example, the perspective from the person or the entity who is writing. You see the perspective from like the point of view, like this being confused, and it's much more subjective. And we also tried, because that was a question of aesthetics. We all have different aesthetics, and that was also very interesting to create a work that could be not a compromise between all the different aesthetics, but really have this multi-identity in the aesthetic form itself.
Mm-hmm. All right, and. Yeah, so this is also part of the thing that you see, or actually the messaging, no? Which is very interesting. So there are these kind of 3 or 4 parallel narratives that are happening at the same time. All right. And have you been then also to this control room, or what? How were you like, or you just saw the photos of it, or you have been in contact with them, like to see the aesthetics they have on the monitors in there, or not?
We tried to get in touch. Another colleague who is not present at the moment, he's tried mailing with them. Mm-hmm. He really tried very hard to get an appointment, and we have been supposed to have an appointment, but then it did not fit with the time we had. Actually, they always postponed, and I mean, we could not make it, but we tried, and then at the end we try to work with the material we had. Okay.
And is this shooting, it's done with also mobile phones, or is it video camera, or there's a mixed kind of source of the filmic materials that we are seeing?
It's a mixed, there are mixed sources, so there's the screen of the phone, there is a good camera, and then more mobile phones. The idea to use, I think, very different sources is because also this idea of hypermediation, so that your lives are mediated in many, many ways. That is also what is going on in the smart control room, which is actually just a center where they collect data, and it is quite antique to think of data collection or controlling only through video cameras, because in the control room they use mainly mobile phones. So this idea of superposing a lot of different data and sources was part of the concept. And then just a fun fact, for example, I wanted to say about the control room. So to guess if you're a tourist or if you're Venetian, it's not the locality of your phone that says it, but it's the rhythm of your walk. So if you walk fast, you're Venetian. If you walk slowly, you're a tourist. And that's how they know, who is navigating the city. So this is also quite interesting, no? To understand like how your body how you move your body puts you in a label, you know, Venetian or tourist. It's not just a location.
All right, and yeah, do you want to add maybe you didn't spoke for the moment? All right. Okay, and how long is going to be the film? Like, do you want to make a short film or a full feature kind of thing, or how are you going to work with the lengths and in this very experimental format? How long do you think the film final? How long are you projecting it to be?
Yeah, the work in progress that we're doing now, it lasts about 30 minutes, and that's the length of the walk from the starting point till the final point. And the question that was asked to this person that is in the Philippines is, where is the house of the dream? I think that was the question, right? And so from this question and this question about sleep and about a bit ambiguous, no, where is the house of the dreams in Venice? He led us to a hotel, so through the calle of Venice. And
it is literally that you called this kind of travel service that guided you through the city of Venice okay, a real time kind of, yeah.
And yeah, this is part of this multi-layering, no? So you have someone in the Philippines that never been in Venice and guides you through the streets. And then it was always, we were trying to push the barriers, no, between work, between this relationship, no, with this person that is a worker, but we also asked, I'm bored, what should I do? I feel lonely. And he answers sometimes in ways that are more intimate, no? He made us, or the entity, listen to a song of his country. So there is all these layers, no?
Danilo proposed us to think about this topic, and then each of us created a different idea how to proceed. And then what we have done is not to choose one of those ideas. We actually made we made a mix, but not a superficial mix. We really tried to make a recipe out of these all ingredients.
Mm-hmm. And are you managing to kind of, because the collective process sometimes can be very, very, very challenging and very difficult. So how are you managing to sort of bring it around? And is this also the reason why the editing takes such a long time, because you have to go through all the collective process and approve it, or how does that work? In terms of editing, how are you building this final project? Like, if in terms of working collectively, who decides what and when? This is a piano. Don't get afraid.
Well, for sure, each of us has different skills, and we have some of us are very into direction, regie. Some other are more into the image itself, and some other of us are more into the space, like how do you understand the space and how to work in the space, and that's it's very important, like not to think that a group of people, it's a group of similar people, but it's a group of people who has also skills. And so that does not mean that each of us is editing the film. So this, I really want to take away the idea we are sitting all together to a computer, and like each of us is pressing a button. It's like some of us has much more skills into editing, and then it's making the editing, trying to respect also the aesthetic of the others. And that's the very interesting thing in working collectively, and when the skills of the other, it's also helping the process into becoming something more for everybody.
Okay. Right. I don't know, maybe it's the time that we can also ask a few questions to our colleagues from IUAV. So anyone who would like to ask or to pose a question?
Is it going to be shown on one screen, or is it multi-channel installation?
That we don't know yet. Because it's still in process, and I think also depends where do we show it. It very depends on the situation, where do we want to show it.
Okay. Any other questions?
I wanted to know how you picked the location of the people guiding you around the city. There was a logic behind the location of the other guy.
This guy from the Philippines.
I mean, not from our point of view, because I mean, we were questioning, I mean, making some question to this guy, but really,
What do we prepare the question?
I mean, we prepared the question and
But you mean the logic of him being in the Philippines? Well, there is this thing with the technology, you know, like most users or consumers of technology are in the global north, let's say, and most of the people who help or work or do these customer services are in the global south. So it's a relationship also of inequity. No, then he could be in the Philippines, he could be in another country. But this thing of this inequity that's inherent to technology is part of our discourse, I think, in a way.
I mean, it was also in the Philippines because we had the opportunity to have a direct contact with this guy. Otherwise, I mean, could also be somebody else. But for us, it was also important to show this inequity and I don't know, this idea of maybe the chatbot or also this help assistants. They came literally from other places that we never have idea of their place or how it really works.
Okay, okay. So thank you very much. I think that soon we'll see this collective effort, like in an exhibition or in a cinema, or I don't know, maybe in a digital environment. And thank you for having joined us. Are there any additional questions? Okay, so now we'll continue. We'll have 5 minutes of setup with our next guest, Epto, who is here. And thank you.